Hey guys, what is going on today? Bojo here, and we are back for our NHL 16 Be a GM following the Philadelphia Flyers up here at the trade deadline in year number 4. Gonna hopefully be done the regular season in this video, and hopefully we will be on our way to the year 4 playoffs. But currently your Philadelphia Flyers are in second place in the Metropolitan Division, sitting at 4 points behind the Carolina Hurricanes for first, and sitting at a record of 39-20-4. So, judging by your guys' comments last episode, I'm going to opt to not go for anything in the trade deadline this year. Even though there were some suggestions that were posted in the comments that something that I am definitely going to be looking for in the future is a right-handed defenseman and to upgrade that power play. Now, apparently the reason you guys are saying our power play is struggling so much is because the defensemen are not really contributing all too much. Well, granted, I only do have 3 total defensemen on the power play as a whole, if you don't count the 4-on-4 power play or the 4v3 power play, whatever. But a lot of you guys are saying that those defensemen are not really offensively minded. They're very much defensively minded, except for the few guys here and there. But that is definitely going to be something I look for in the future, is getting a very offensively minded defenseman. Even though Ghost is kind of that guy, apparently he's not putting up the points that I want him to. So upgrading to like a right-handed shot offensive defenseman of the future is definitely something I'm going to look for right now. But the way the Flyers currently stand, we've been winning games. We're not really a power play kind of team. It seems that we're just a very good shutdown defensive kind of squad. So I think that's the team that we are going to be running with here going into the trade deadline for this squad. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to mess with the lines or anything like that. Everything seems to be working pretty good for the Flyers as of recently. I mean, we are what, 4-1 in our last 5, 3-1-1 in our last 5 games. So everything seems to be working pretty good for this Flyers team right now. I think we're just going to go up to this game against the Chicago Blackhawks. We'll check out all the trades that were made on this game before Chicago. We'll simulate past Chicago and we'll see all the trades that were made. So unfortunately, we do lose that game to Chicago 3-1, which does kind of suck. But we'll show you guys the activity feed, the player and the pick tradings that have happened so far for this year's trade deadline. So we'll start with the March dates. So San Jose Sharks got Calvin Pickard and Mikko Rantanen for Trevor Daley and Sean Bergenheim. Sounds like a really good deal for the Sharks. Montreal got Nolan Patrick and Carter Hart from Winnipeg for Max Pacioretty. Wow, seems pretty good. New York Rangers got Gustav Forsling and Philippe Dufresne for Emerson Edom. Nashville got Jonas Hiller for Daniel Gibble and Simon Schultz. Vancouver got Mike Blunden for Lyndon Vey. Buffalo got a first, P. Suarez and Jay Anderson for Tyler Ennis. Vancouver got Nelson Scott and Mikhail Arkhipov for Alexander Edler. And then the Montreal Canadiens got a third and Ryan Wilson for Joel Gilbert. So those are all your trade day acquisitions and player and pick tradings. So now we can continue here to go throughout the rest of this month. Go up to this Edmonton Oilers game, see how the Flyers end off this month with. That game against Carolina is actually going to be a pretty big game if we can get on a little bit of a win streak now. So we get a win over the Rangers. Can we beat Carolina? No, we lose 5-1 to them, but come back with a win over these Western Conference teams that, you know, doesn't matter if we win or lose. Well, it would help if we win, but we got to get points with. We got to get points for against those kind of teams. All right, so we need to find out our accuracy again. Once again, we already scouted the Simliga League. All these are like B things. There's nobody on the rest of the world, so we can scout the. Let's go for Let's go United States. It's got some forwards for 6 weeks. For there, we'll finish up this month's simulation here. All right, so once again, we're kind of like we win 2 and then lose 1, win 2 and lose 1. That's kind of, I'm not going to be too upset with that. Mark Alt with a strained hamstring. He'll be back on March 29th, so he's only going to miss like a week. So that's my assistant coach replace the player. Win there again. Once again, there's 2 wins and a loss. Markall is available to play. I'm just going to continue here. We're almost at the end of the AHL team anyway, so that's fine. 4-0 win over the Ducks. Would help if we could win these like divisional games. Yeah, there you go. There's an overtime win over the Devils. And all right, so we do have a 3-game win streak riding right now. So it was a very kind of weird month of March, to say the least. It seemed like we could win 2, then lose 1, win 2, then lose 1. Now we won 1-3 again. So seems like the Flyers are doing pretty good. Got a nice regulation win over the Islanders, which helps us bury them down the division. We're 47-24-4, which is still a pretty decent record, I would think. We have how many games left? We have 7 games left. Flyers are currently still trailing behind the Carolina Hurricanes, who have how many more points than us? 7 more points? Yeah, they have 7 more points than us. How many more games played do they have, though, than us? Let's see. Carolina might have played a lot more games than us, so let's see. Carolina has only 1 more game played. They're at 105 points. We're at 98. The good thing is we already have clinched a playoff berth of some kind, so we are going to be in the playoffs. Looks like the second division spot is going to be looking pretty good for us right now because we're already 11 points ahead of the New York Rangers with 7 games left, so 14 games left to go. I did that completely wrong. There's 7 games left, which means a total of 14 possible points for the Rangers if they win out, which they could pass us. But realistically, we just need to get like 2, maybe 3 wins possibly to essentially clinch second place in our division. So that's good. But we're still, I think, it was 7 points behind the Carolina Hurricanes. So, we really need to pretty much kind of win some games here if we want to try to get the first seed. But it looks like we're going to be settling for the second spot in our division here. So let's go 1 week at a time, see how everything plans out here. So the Oilers, we're going to lose to them, that's all right. That's okay, I guess. That game against the Rangers actually might be a little bit more important than we think. All right, so Coots, now after I'm throwing my playing time, working, okay, so, you know what, there's a lot of guys in that locker room working hard to get some of your ice time. No, there's not. There's not really another second line center there. Lawton's not really kind of pressing for that second spot, so we can give Coots his little bit of a praise there. All right, so that's fine. All right, so we lose that game against the Oilers, which was kind of big. We do get an overtime win over the New York Rangers, which actually is pretty big. Then we lose to the Maple Leafs. All right, guys, don't want to go on a losing streak here at the end of the season, that's for damn sure. But if we take a look here, New York Rangers fall back to 4th. Columbus is right behind us. They're still 10 points behind us. Can they catch us in any way? How many games left do they have? 3, 5? Yeah, they can. If the Blue Jackets win out, they will tie us. I don't know what the season series we have is over Columbus. So, realistically, we need to win 1 game. We need to win 1 of the next 4 games for us to get this second spot. So, if we get 1 win against either of these Capitals games, against Buffalo or Tampa Bay, we should be good. But just take it 1 game at a time. We're still 5 points behind Carolina. I don't think it's realistic to get first place in our division, but crazier shit has happened. So let's go up to that game against Washington. Take it 1 game at a time. We'll see where we are. So we win that game 5-4. Like I said, we know we are in the playoffs here. I still think we're way, way, way too far behind. Yeah, we're 7 points behind. Carolina clinches the division. I think they clinched the Presidents, right? Because I think they're the best team in the league. Yeah, they probably clinched the President's Trophy, yeah. So, Carolina Hurricanes are the President's Trophy winning team. Unfortunately, they were in our division, but you know what? I will be content with a 2nd overall seed in our division. I will definitely be happy with that. And it looks like we might get a 50-win season here if we get 1 win in our next 3 games over Washington, Buffalo, or Tampa Bay, which we do, a shootout win over the Capitals, which is nice. We end up getting a 5-2 win over the Buffalo Sabres and a 3-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. So the Flyers end off a little bit of a struggle at the beginning of the month, going 1-2, but then they end the month on a 4-game winning streak heading into the playoffs, which is pretty good. And you know what? We end off the year with almost, if you don't count overtime or shootout losses, Flyers end off the year with a very good 2.0 win-loss ratio, sitting at 52, 26, and 4. So a very good year for the Philadelphia Flyers, none of the less. All right, so let's head to the player morale first. Do the jobs what we need to do with that. All right, so Nick Patan, he wants to know, even I have to admit our team is performing well as of lately. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. 2.0 win-loss ratio on the year, definitely. And then Ivan Provorov's up to an 87 now. I wish everybody in that locker room could just put aside their differences and focus on winning games. I agree, Ivan. Let's see. I hear a lot of feedback like yours on contemplating some changes. We know about the problems, but I need you to be part of the solution and not the problem. Exactly, Ivan. I don't need you to... Good. Positive effect. Exactly what I want from you, Ivan. I don't really need you to complain all too much. I just need you to get out there, do what you do best, and, you know, play some hockey, play some defense on that top 4 pairing is what I need you to do. All right, so let's see if there's any player morale in the Phantoms. Nothing needs to be done with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, which is good. All right, so I think the regular season has ended. Like I said, end off the year with a 2.0 win-loss ratio, which is very nice. We're only 5 points behind the eventual President's Trophy winning team, which is very good. So Carolina was first in the league, and the Philadelphia Flyers, because of that 4-game win streak, jettisoned above all the other teams and finished off with the second best record in the entire NHL. So the Metropolitan Division delivering 2 very big powerhouses this year in the Carolina Hurricanes and the Philadelphia Flyers. So nice job there from the Metropolitan Division. All right, so goals for per game. Let's see where we ended off this year at left stick. That's what I hit. I'm sorting it. There we go. Thank you. All right, so we ended off the year 5th in the league for goals for with a 2.90, so pretty good. 238 goals for per game, which is not too shabby. Goals against, we finished off with the 3rd best goals against in the game, goals against per game. So we were one of the top teams up the entire season, but it looks like the Carolina Hurricanes overtook us near the end. They started to really shut down, it seems, on defense, finishing with a 2.256, so a 2.26 really, 2.28 for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then a 2.33 for our Philadelphia Flyers. So not too bad. Power play, we know the troubles that this power play is for Flyers. It's the 3rd worst in the NHL. It seems like real life, honestly, but 3rd worst power play in the entire NHL this year. So obviously our power play was not really great. You know, we were in the middle of the pack for having a lot of power plays this year. So yeah, I definitely got to work on that power play, figure out what we need to do for that next year. Maybe we'll make some more power play edits before the playoffs do begin. But then as for our penalty kill, it was at the 7th best penalty kill in the league with a 83.65%, and times shorthanded. I think we're one of the more teams up there. Yeah, we were the fourth most penalized team in the NHL, but our penalty kill did a very good job of killing the penalties nonetheless. Home record 26-13-2, away record 26-13-2. Couldn't be more precise than that. And then heading into the playoffs, Flyers looking pretty good, sporting a record of 8-2 in their last 10 games. So not too shabby there. I almost forgot to save. Let me do that. Let me do that before shit goes crazy and we have more freezes and stuff like that when I look at the stats and the overalls. Okay, good. Good. All right, so now I can take a look at the player stats here. We'll take a look at everything for this year. All right, so let's check out the forwards for our squad. Okay, so Jacob Voracek ended off the year with 72 points in 82 games, 30 goal score, so pretty good year for Jake nonetheless. Claude Giroux had one of those kind of bounce back years again. It seems like he's just been like jumping back and forth between the good year and then the bad year. Last year he had a very good year. The previous 2 years not really so great. You know, in year number 1, year number 2, he did have 30 goals. Last year he just had one hell of a season. Almost was a 40 goal scorer, had 83 points, was a point a game per player, so he was doing pretty good there. He still did get 20 goals this year, but 63 points. You're kind of expecting a little bit more out of Claude, but at least Jake, I think, picked it up from the previous year, I believe. Yeah, so Jake actually did better this year than he did last year. He had more assists than he did last year, but picked up the goal scoring a lot better this year than last year. Still had around 70 points, which is good, which is what I want out of Jake. But, yeah, we got to expect more out of Claude. He is starting to get a little bit older now. He's 31 years old, so you kind of expect that nonetheless. Braden Shen, still another pretty good year. He's up to an 87 now. 52, another 50-point season from Braden Shen. Not going to have the amazing season I had last year with 64 points, but you know what? He did get 20 goals for us. Not too bad. 52 points. That's kind of what I expect from Braden Shen on my second line. I want 50 points out of the guys. Same thing with Sean Couturier. Another 50-point season for him. Once again, kind of the exact same year as last year. Once again, more goals being scored. That's what I like from this team. Last year, a lot of assists were being dished out, but this year it seems like a lot of guys were getting some goals. But I mean, we had a lot of 20 goal scorers. We had 4 plus 20 goal scorers. Simmons almost got there with 19, but still. TJ Oshie with 48 points, not too bad. I think he had, how many points did he have last year? He had 56, 48 this year. So yeah, you can kind of see the trend that TJ Oshie is getting. He's not really a goal scorer anymore, kind of an assist guy as like a two-way forward. So Matt Reed with another pretty impressive season. I'm not going to lie. Almost another 50-point year of Matt Reed. Pretty similar to last year. Had a lot more goals last year, but still around that 50-point mark from Matt Reed. And the fact that he's on the third line with Patan and Lawton, power play time, obviously gets a lot of power play assists, I would assume. Wayne Simmons, very kind of surprised that the year Wayne Simmons had. Only 42 points. Had a very good year last year. 35 and 35 last year, and only 42 points this year. So kind of upsetting the year Wayne Simmons had. You know, he's getting up there, same age as Giroux, kind of like 30, 31. So you're starting to see a downward trend from these guys, but was expecting a little bit more out of Simmons this year without a doubt. He did miss, 8 games due to an injury, but still, it's not really a great year from Wayne Simmons on the second line. Shannon Couturier pulled their weight with the 50 points, but you know, you want to see Simmons get a little bit more than that. Nick Patan for the first year on this Flyers team, not too bad, putting up almost 50 points as well. 40 point year from Nick Patan. I couldn't ask for more from the third line playmaker. He helped Matt Reed get that 47 points this year, so that's pretty good. Lawton, I think this is the best year Scott Lawton has had as well. 38 points, exact same as last year. 3 more goals than assists last year, but you know what? Lawtz actually had a very good plus year. Plus 24 for Scott Lawton. Definitely helping out that plus minus. A lot of our players were plus players, which is very nice to see. Kruger with 27, he's up to an 83. Ryan White with 26, up to an 83. And then Brandon McMillan, 16, up to an 82. Talbot, we know, had 6 points in 11 games, so he'll be a nice little reliable player to call upon if there does happen to be any injuries in the playoffs. But other than that, fourth line guys got some points, almost 30 points from the fourth line. I mean, I'm not going to complain right there. Lawton and Patan and Reed had a very good year on the third line. Simmons, kind of underwhelming on the second pair. Oshie, you know, he's that assist kind of guy on the first line, but still he makes Giroux and Voracek better. And then Braden Shen and Sean Couturier didn't have as great a years as they had last year, but still a very good year nonetheless, getting 50 points on the second line. I couldn't ask for that. And then obviously Jake leading our team this year. All right, so let's go to the defensemen now. And we got some very pluses on our team. So we got Travis Sanheim with 34 points, plus 32. Very good year for Travis. I believe this was his first year in the NHL, right? He played for us last year. That's right. He played for us last year as well. He wasn't in a major role as he was last year, but this year, without a doubt, 34 points for Travis Sanheim. Very good year for him, putting up that big 34 points, almost 40 points. Not bad. 88 overall for him. Ghost put up 28, so not too bad. Plus 7 for Shane Gostisbehere. Obviously, he's that offensive defenseman on the power play. No power play goals from him, so hopefully he'll be getting some more. As you guys are seeing, not many power play goals. Delzato and Sanheim were the only 2 guys to get power play points for our team, but, you know, that's how it happens. Ghost got first-line power play time as well, so maybe he got a lot of assists, whatever. Provorov, 87 overall, 24 points for him, plus 5. Delzato, 20 points for him. He's up to an 85 as well, plus 10. Robert Haig, 14 points with a plus 38. That's really good. Sam Morin, even with 105 penalty minutes, still had 10 points on the year. 9 goals for Sam Morin. That's actually, or Sam Moran, I guess you could say. It's pretty good. It's probably that hard-ass slap shot, I would assume. Yeah, 96, 94 power. It's a rocket head your way. But 105 penalty minutes, probably assuming a lot of fighting majors, but he was still plus 13, so I'm not going to complain on top 6. And then Borowiecki, 1 point in 1 goal in 2 games for him. 7 penalty minutes in that 1 game as well. So there was probably a fighting major as well. Plus 1 for Borowski. All right, so not too bad from our defense. Obviously, you know, you want to get power play points from the defense, but we'll take it. And then for the goaltenders. So, Michael Neuwirth, due to the fact that Mason was injured for a good portion of the year, had the most games played for us, which you would expect. 43 games played, 2.35 goals against average, 22, 14, and 4 with a save percentage of 9.21 and 2 shutouts. Steve Mason, after coming back from injury, did play very well. 39 games played, 2.1 goals against average on the dot, 27 and 11, save percentage of .931, and then 4 shutouts. And then obviously Matej Tomek filled in for Steve Mason as well while he was injured. 7 games, 2.78, 3 and 2, .910 save percentage. All right, so that is our totals for the Philadelphia Flyers. Let's go check out the entire league here and see who had the best overalls or the best point totals here for forwards. So, who had the most goals this year? That is going to Tyler Seguin, who had 51 goals this year. Patrick Kane, Tarasenko. So really only 3 players above 40 goals this year. Seguin, Kane, and Tarasenko. Nobody really else. A lot of people hanging around 30 points, but 30 goals and whatnot, but those guys really pulled their weight this year. Assists, we have Sam Reinhart with 62 assists, Jamie Benn, Connor McDavid, Andre Palat, Taves, Seguin, Backstrom, Getzlaf, Domi, Monahan, Steen, and Stastny. And then finally, the point leader was Tyler Seguin with 110 points for Tyler Seguin. That's a pretty good year for him. 51 goals, 59 assists, 110 points, beat teammate Jamie Benn. So you had 200 points from both Tyler Seguin and Jamie Benn. Look out for the Dallas Stars in this year's playoff run, without a doubt. Kane didn't even come close, 85. Palat, Taves, Monahan, Tarasenko. So you had about maybe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players around point a game. Crosby was near there with 81. None of our players up there, obviously. So, not too bad. Let's check out defensemen real quick. Then we'll check out rookies. Oops, don't want to go for games played. Goals for defensemen. We have Erik Karlsson and Oliver Ekman-Larsson up there as per usual. None of ours are up there. This is this daily guy, Brett Burns. Jacob Chichurin, he's already up to a 91 overall, so the St. Louis Blues got a nice little player there. And then you also have this guy, Harvey Daly from the Phoenix Coyotes. That's a new name being put up there. How about assists? OEL with 70, Hayden Fleury with 65, Tyson Barrie, Shea Theodore, Sam Vatanen, Subban, Keith Doughty, Chichurin's up there again, Schultz and Dumba. And then points, we had Oliver Ekman-Larsson with 97 points as a defenseman. That's absolutely ridiculous. 70 total assists. Absolutely a redonkulous for a defenseman. And then goaltenders, let's check this out really quickly for the tendies. Oh yeah, I'll check out rookies in a minute as well. So most wins went to Corey Crawford with 44, Varlamov. Marek Langhammer, 41 wins for the Phoenix Coyotes, with the Arizona Coyotes. 41 wins as an 80 overall goaltender. Jesus. Devin Dubnyk, Bernier, Alan Vasilevsky as well. He got 34 wins. What's Ben Bishop doing in Tampa if he's still even there? Gordon Lucic. So you're seeing some new names up there for goaltenders. Tokarski and Scrivens, who had the best goals against average. That went to most games played as well. So these guys really don't count because that guy's in the AHL. Cam Ward's in the AHL. So most games played, probably Devin Dubnyk with a 2.25, 70 total games played. So probably give it to Dubnyk for the goaltender award this year, I would assume. So not bad for Dubnyk. And then shutouts. Let's see what the most shutouts. Most shutouts went to Bernier and Rene with 9 each. All right, so no Steve Mason up there, which is interesting. No Michael Neuwirth either. So whatever the case. All right, and then we go to rookie skaters here. Just take a look at the rookies real quick. Who had the most goals this year for the rookies? That would go to Laurent Dauphin from the Arizona Coyotes. 23 goals for him. Chichurin was up there as well. 18 goals. Kasperi Kapanen, Connor Bleakley, Harvey Daly, Merkley, so Arizona's getting some rookies in there. Baptiste, Dickinson, Point, Svechnikov, D'Angelo, and Brandon Perlini. Assists went to Nick Merkley, 51 assists. Braden Point, Barbashev, Steve Bickle, anybody else? Dylan Strome up there, Nikita Sherbak. And then most points for the rookie. So it looks like Nicholas Merkley is going to be getting the Calder trophy this year for probably most rookie points. And then any rookie goaltenders, probably not. Who had the most, like, I guess Langhammer, probably, since he had the most games played. Langhammer and Lucic are probably the top rookie goaltenders. Langhammer, Lucic, and then Callum Booth up there as well. So, you know, you had some rookies, goaltenders pretty much thriving this year, so not too bad. But, all right, so here we are. Flyers finish off second in the division. We are going to be taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets, it seems, in the first round of the playoffs. How are the Phantoms doing? They are in third in their division, 40-24-9. They do have a playoff. They are going to be in the playoffs, so that's going to be nice for them. So let's advance today, and then we'll check out the playoff tree. Stop simulation there. We are going to have home ice advantage, obviously, against the Columbus Blue Jackets. But let's check out what the playoff tree is going to look like here in year number 4. So we're going to have the Chicago Blackhawks in the West, and we have Chicago up against St. Louis, Colorado versus Winnipeg, Edmonton versus Calgary, Battle of Alberta, and then the Arizona Coyotes and the Dallas Stars. And then in the East, we got Philadelphia versus Columbus, Carolina versus the New York Islanders, Toronto versus Buffalo, and Tampa Bay versus the New York Rangers. So that is how the playoff tree turns out for us here in year number 4. Flyers are looking to, once again, have another deep playoff run. We made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals last year before getting knocked out by the Buffalo Sabres in pretty much 5 games. So we're hoping for a deeper playoff run this year with this Philadelphia Flyers team. You know, goals, you know, power play seems to be a pretty big issue for us. So I'm actually going to go to the power play lines here, but it seems like the Flyers doing a good job this year of keeping the puck out of the net. And, you know, I think if we can just get the offense rolling, and if the Flyers power play kickstarts itself and really gets it going in the playoffs, I think the Flyers might be a very, very dangerous team come playoff time. But here is our power play setup, guys, going into the playoffs. Let me know if you think there's anything that we should change. Maybe we move Sanheim up to the top pair, and then maybe we move Ghost back down to the second pair with Del Zotto. Maybe that'll spread out some things. Maybe we move Oshie around. Do we keep Reed up there? I mean, there's a lot of things we can do with this power play, but let me know what you guys think we should do for the power play. Since it was one of our weaker stats during the regular season, I think there might be some changes that we can make to that. So let me know what you think we should do for power play. Oh yeah, before I go as well, we still have like 3 minutes left before we hit half an hour again. Let me check out what I want to do. Let me go edit lines again. Let me just check out my NHL squad, see if there's anybody really, you know, really improving. I do want to get Mark Alt back in there, though. So let me take off Adam Comrie, because I know I continued it because I was focusing on the NHL team. So let me get Adam Comrie back out and put Mark Alt back into the defense there. Good. So let's see. Yep, still depth forward for Gauthier, still depth forward for Cornell. Meyer, Connect needs up to an 83 again, so depth forwards for all those guys. Nathan Noel, depth forward. So yeah, got 4 83s on our AHL team right now. Somebody's gonna be making the AHL team next year, so we're gonna have to definitely make some cuts and figure out what's gonna happen with this Flyers team if we win the cup. We maybe drop some guys off and things like that, but defense is still looking very, very solid. Bachman's up to a 78 now, so he's growing very, very well and very, very quickly for us. And then Stoley and Tomek are still doing a good job right there with those two guys. Okay, so AHL is doing good. They have clinched a playoff spot, so they're going to be looking good going into the playoffs nonetheless. And you know, show you guys our power play options. Let me know if you think there was any edits that we need to do, and we'll get started with our year 4 playoff run in the next video, going up against the Columbus Blue Jackets in round number 1. So thanks for watching, guys. If you did enjoy, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys next time.